Canada, our neighbor to the north, has just passed a law giving the government power to take children away from their families if the parents do not accept the child's chosen gender identity. It basically makes it a form of child abuse. This follows a 2012 law that barred homeschooling families from teaching their children that homosexuality is a sin. Opponents fear these laws have wide-ranging effects on religious freedom.
A transgender father who abandoned his 7 children to start a new life as a 6-year-old girl is being celebrated by some liberals as a shining example of diversity. Stephanie Walsh is being profiled by numerous media outlets after she revealed her story in a video interview for the Transgender Project.
I can't deny I was married, I can't deny I have children, but I've moved forward now and I've gone back to being a child. I don't want to be an adult right now, and I just live my life like I couldn't when I was in school. I have a mommy and daddy, adopted mommy and daddy, who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl.
Walsh is now dressing up and pretending to be a 6-year-old girl with her adopted family after being given an ultimatum by her ex-wife, who said she had to stop being trans or leave. Walsh chose to abandon the 23-year marriage along with her 7 kids and is now fulfilling her role as little sister to her new parents' youngest granddaughter. The clip has received well over 160,000 views, but feedback is overwhelmingly negative, while comments have been completely disabled. Several liberals reacted by expressing support for Walsh and celebrating her story. Walsh herself reacted to critics by vowing to take on haters face-to-face at a location in Toronto. However, the vast majority of respondents to the independent article had a very different opinion. One writes, "Oh, it's so great. What a hero. How brave. Fawn, fawn. This is what happens when lunacy is championed by the right on. This is not news," added another. "This is a mentally ill person who does not need pandering to, but needs psychiatric help." Another gay man accused Walsh of being an interloper and a fetishist. One commenter also made a number of accusations against Walsh that, if true, demolish her attempt at framing herself as a victim. The commenter writes, "What this report doesn't tell you is that this person was charged with assault and abuse of his wife and family. They were awarded a restraining order against him. He has also been convicted of harassment and threatening a neighbor and a peeping Tom. Also, his arrangement with his new mummy and daddy is a sexual one." It's also fascinating how many social justice warriors and feminists who would normally crucify a man for abandoning his wife and kids are extremely supportive of Walsh simply because she now professes to be a 6-year-old girl. All kidding and paranoid transphobia aside, isn't this just sheer unabashed propaganda aimed at destroying the family? What's next?
Would you say it's possible for the left to recognize broken families as one of the biggest problems in American society? And if so, what would it take for the left to realize how big of a problem this is?
Okay, so the left is never going to recognize that broken families are a problem because it is one of the goals of the left to break families. Historically speaking, if you read Marx and Engels, they do not like the traditional family. They think the traditional family is a bulwark against an overarching brutal state. Right, so the idea is, and they want the overarching brutal state, so therefore they don't want the family. The family is a bunch of people who care about each other more than they care about the community at large. And so this is why in Soviet Russia, the chief goal was to separate children from their family, have them turn on their parents. I mean, some of the great Soviet heroes in the Soviet Union were kids who reported their parents to the authorities. Right, so the left has never been in favor of traditional families. They see it as a threat. Because traditional families don't vote according to how the left wants them to vote. They vote in favor of leave me alone. I've got my family. It's my job to protect them. So the left is never going to stand up in favor of that to the detriment of everybody involved. And therefore, it's incumbent on particularly religious people, because religion still has a significant amount of weight in American life, unlike in Europe. It's incumbent on religious people to make sure that their kids understand the value of family. It's incumbent on secular thinkers to make clear to people that broken homes, that single motherhood is not an affirmative good.